What's up guys? Today we are going to be doing the fourth part to our Real Estate Lingo series. We're going to be talking about under contract terms and closing terms. So let's get into it.
So our first term for under contract is actually under contract. What this means is that the sellers and the buyers have both agreed to live out this real estate transaction and get it to the finish line. So that means both parties have signed the sales contract and we are now delivering the contract to an escrow company.
The next term we're going to be talking about is an inspection. We've already talked about this in some of our other videos, but this is a very important aspect when it comes to being under contract. This is where we hire a licensed professional at the buyer's expense to come in and build a report based on the property's condition and any needed repairs that need to be done prior to the close of the property and y'all moving in.
All right, so the next term is escrow. I mentioned this in the under contract term. So the escrow company is also known as the title company, and we give them the effective sales contract after we've went under contract. And they'll be holding on to our earnest money, onto our option money. The inspection gets billed to them. All the closing costs are billed through them. So they're the place we're gonna go when we're ready to close and sign papers on this property.
So the next term we're going to be talking about is the seller's disclosure notice. You might see this as SDN often. This is basically a form that the sellers fill out that discloses all the information that they know about the property that they are selling so that the buyers go in knowing everything that they need to prior to closing.
All right, so our next term is seller concessions. This is an amount that the sellers will be giving back to the buyers, whether that be for something that we noticed on the inspection report that we want repaired. We can use the money for that. You can also get concessions for things like down payment and closing costs if you're short on that.
All right, so now we're moving on to closing terms. The first term that we're going to talk about, of course, is closing. This term is pretty point blank. It's the best part to the real estate transaction, and it's the final place where everybody meets to sign off on the property. And then from there, it could take a day or two for the transaction to fully finalize, but closing day is where you sign off and the transaction is complete.
All right, our next closing term is the final HUD, or HUD. We have to get this 3 days before close. This basically just lines out all the numbers, and the most important part is letting the buyer know how much they're gonna have to bring to closing, but it also lines out for the sellers how much they'll be netting and taking away from the closing table.
All right, now we're gonna be talking about closing costs. So these are the costs that you're gonna bring to the closing table. Some of these costs include title fees, mortgage fees, your down payment, money for insurance and taxes, and the list goes on. This is the money that you wanna have at the table so the transaction can fund.
Okay, so branching off of what Saylor just said about closing costs, in the last definition, the final HUD, this is where you get the number and you're sure of what you'll need to bring to closing, because you either need to wire the money or bring it in the form of a cashier's check. Alrighty guys, so the reason we did this series was to just educate y'all and let you in on some real estate terms. It might make your next real estate journey a little bit easier. We really appreciate you watching the videos, and this is the end of the series, so we'll see ya. We appreciate y'all watching. We really hope you learned something and got your head around some real estate terms. And so next time your real estate journey will be smoother.
If y'all have any questions, please reach out. We are more than happy to help. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.